Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have the pleasure of being joined by one of our finest city councilmen of the city of LaGrange. I am joined by Mr. Nathan Gaskin. Nathan, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, Alton. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come on and sit down and chat with me about some things going on in and around our city. And I know that you, one of the gentlemen, along with the others there and female, to keep your fingers on the pulse and kind of make sure that we stay on task here with as city staff is concerned. Nathan, tell us just a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
I'm 6'4", I'm 300 pounds, I'm a Capricorn, I like to take long walks on the beach. I'm just a regular guy.
Regular guy, right?
I'm a regular guy from the West Side. I was born and raised in New York City on the West Side and moved down here to LaGrange on the West Side again. And, you know, I wanted to, when I ran for office, the whole intent was to try to make this environment, because I've heard way too many people say that, you know, they want their children to have a better life and they send them off to college and they tell them don't come back.
Don't come back.
Don't come back. There's nothing here for you in LaGrange.
Specifically to LaGrange.
Yeah, to LaGrange. I know everybody out there knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I wanted to change that narrative. I wanted this to be a better place. Than when I got here. That there was more for the community to do. There was more opportunity. There was more diversity in the workforce. And I felt that that goal could be achieved with the right political pressure applied. And that's why, you know, when I got elected, I made it a point to get involved with
so many things that
so many things I'm involved in, but with commerce, making sure that you know, people know what kind of workforce we have here. So I got involved with economic development in helping them diversify the portfolio of what kind of jobs were available here. So now we have hospitality jobs, you have food service jobs, you have, you know, light industrial, heavy industrial. You know, you need a good mix,
right,
to weather any storm. You just don't want to be a one-trick pony. You want to have several different things going on. So in case one section downturns in the economy, you have another to balance it out. So that's really my thing. That's how I operate my life. Always have a backup plan to the backup plan.
Absolutely, it's so important. I just want to go back to, you know, when you talked about having the diversity as far as workforce is concerned. How do you see, because the generation of today is not the generations 2-3 generations ago where parents and grandparents, they would go to those jobs, and we're thankful for those jobs where they work 8-12 hours, you know, 7 days a week. We don't see that happening with the generation today. Talk about the importance of having, like you talked about, that diverse workforce.
Well, you know, it's a whole different work environment now, even corporately. You know, there used to be a time when companies would carry you from the cradle to the grave. And now you're doing good if you can get 5 to 10 years out of any one company. So keeping that in mind, you have to have a good variety of employment places to be at. So no, I don't see that changing anytime soon, but I do see the environment in which we work changing, so far as there's more than just the people here in LaGrange that you have to compete with. You're competing with people from around the world.
That's right.
The world is coming to LaGrange. So you can't just sit there and say, well, you know, I'm doing better than, you know, I think I can beat him out for that job or beat her out for that job, because maybe someone coming from across the water or across the land. That you have to compete with.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nathan, I want to ask you, because you're from the West Side of New York, you moved down here to LaGrange. What drew you to LaGrange, if I may ask?
Some call it love.
And I know.
You know, I married my wife. We were married for 16 years, and I was with her for 32 years. And you went to school with
That's
my wife.
right.
Yeah, you went to school with my wife. God rest her soul.
That's right.
She passed away while I was in office about 5 years ago. And I had every reason to leave, but had every reason to stay. You know, I have my grandchildren here, and my children are here. One of my daughters bought a house here. The other one is thinking about building a house here. So all my children are here. And they never left LaGrange, and there's something for all of them.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy for that, and now I got to work on making sure my grandchildren have something.
Very good
as well.
You know, we interviewed you some years ago when we started an initiative, Leaving It Better Than You Found It.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was you said it was your mother that made a statement to you. I think you were complaining about various things,
Yeah, you know.
And she said, well, why don't you shut your mouth, just kind of paraphrasing, and do something, right?
Right. She always told me that whatever you do in life, wherever you go, whatever, and she really meant whatever you do, if you put your hands on anything, make it better than when you found it. Leave your mark wherever you go. And that has always stuck with me. So I make it a point to be the catalyst, be the change, make it better.
Right.
Don't let that trip look, you know me, I like running my mouth in meetings. I come to a meeting to provoke thought, to agitate ideas, to invoke the change that needs to happen. I don't want a meeting to be just another meeting where it's a mundane situation. We have to constantly press towards the mark of evolving to be better, a better city, better citizens, better elected officials. We have to constantly press towards that mark. We have to challenge ourselves. And I'm not exempt from being challenged, and neither is anybody else in my presence. I'm going to challenge you. And I think that that's really important, because at the end of the day, you don't want that meeting, that trip, wherever you go, to be in vain. Make it worth something. We're all on the clock here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time is precious.
Yes, it is.
So make it count.
Absolutely. And, you know, in talking about leaving it better than you found it, Nathan, and the city has an annual shut the city down, and we go out and we pick up. And there's one coming up on April the 18th where it'll be a citywide pickup. But even before that, I know that you started an initiative where, you know, after the cleanup, you asked the city to set dumpsters in various places. Talk a little bit about that and why that is so important.
You know, because, all right, so we start our litter pickup at like 8:30 in the morning. It's like 8:30 to 10, and there's some areas that we go into that really isn't enough time. And there are people that, you know, either can't get there at 8:30, maybe they want to do it on their own with their own civic group or their family or what have you. I just wanted to make sure that nobody felt like they were left out because of the time frame that we were operating in. Okay. So we had this old beat up dumpster. And I said, hey, what if we paint that thing lime green? You know, that ugly green. You know, the kind of green, right? Yeah, that green that nobody's going to steal. Right.
Hopefully, right?
You know, hopefully, right? And you put stickers all over it, all the information, kind of like advertisement, but at the same time, it serves the purpose of encouraging the communities to put trash in there, and it really helps out our sanitation guys, because now people can, you know, I could do that cleaning that I always wanted to do, and I could just put it in the dumpster. That's right. You know, I mean, it's good. It's good for the community. It really benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, before we came on, Nathan, you said something that I think that we all can benefit from. You know, I remember growing up and we knew our neighbors. Oh, yeah. We would go over, we helped each other out, raised on a farm. We do have in our city a code enforcement office and everything of that nature. Sometimes a neighbor may allow their grass to get too overgrown or whatever the case may be. And you made a point, before you call the city or someone else, why don't you go over and talk and see what's going on? Why is that so important to us?
Wow, you know what, man? Because we're all very private people. I know I'm a private person. But we have to exhibit the civility that is necessary for for us to grow and be a better community. And what that means is, if your neighbor's grass is too tall for your liking, I think it would serve a benefit to go talk to your neighbor, very cordial, politely, and offer to help. There's nothing wrong with helping somebody.
Right.
And that was another thing my mother got on us about. You know, if God gave his only begotten son for us, who are you not to help somebody?
Very well said.
I mean, so instead of calling the city and saying, my neighbor's grass is too high, or they got a broken window, if you would just simply engage in a conversation, you might learn something that can help explain why it is the way it is. Maybe there's a greater problem. Maybe they have health issues. Maybe the lawnmower won't start. Maybe the cord broke. You know, there's several things that can be remedied just by a simple conversation. And that is something that we're afraid to do nowadays. And it doesn't matter if your neighbor doesn't speak English. Learn a little bit of Spanish.
There you go.
You know, learn a little bit of Korean. Whatever, you know, whatever, a little French, whatever it takes. Learn those languages. Communicate with people.
Yeah.
Communicate, because that is the key to being neighborly, to making the city a better place and a more hospitable place.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Nathan, real quick, one last question before we close out here. You've been on the city council 8 years now.
This is my 8th year, yes.
What do you see the city going this next year to?
Truthfully, I don't think the people are prepared for where it's going. I'm just being dead honest with you. I don't think, because nobody that is living today, there's very few people, unless you're a centurion, there hasn't been this much housing development since Callaway built the mills. There's never been this growth in the city in 100 years. So when I got here to LaGrange back in 88, 87, LaGrange was actually bigger than Noonan. Then Noonan had its growth spurt. And then now, you know, now it's bigger than us. But now we're going through our growth spurt. So, I mean, logically, one would think we're going to be bigger than them again. And I don't think that the people of LaGrange grasp that this genie is out the bottle. Growth is happening all across the state of Georgia. I was talking with the mayor of Willacoochee, Georgia. I didn't even know that was a real place. I just saw it in a movie.
Okay, well, yeah.
But I met the mayor, and even they're experiencing growth. All across the state, we're experiencing growth. LaGrange is not exempt from it.
That's right.
So the population of the state is getting larger, the population of the city is getting larger, and I think that we are going to be rivaling cities. And if you look at where we sit geographically, we're almost equidistant from 5 major southern cities. Columbus, Montgomery, Macon, Atlanta. Did I miss one?
Auburn, perhaps.
Auburn. Montgomery. Montgomery, Birmingham, all those. I mean, we're like sitting dead center.
In the center, you're right.
In of all 5 major cities, and we are a major transportation hub for, you know, the traversing of goods and materials. So yeah, LaGrange is going to be big. Bigger than it was, better than it was, stronger than it was. And I'm excited.
$1 million man there.
Yeah, I'm
better, faster, stronger.
Trying to tell you, man. And I'm excited to be a part of it. But this is no longer going to be a small little town.
Absolutely. Well, Nathan, I'm telling you, our time goes by so quick, and I just want to say thank you very much for being on the show
man,
today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. God bless you and all your endeavors and what you're doing for the city.
And thank you.
And to the people out there, just stay tuned, because this city is about to blow up. Get bigger.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from our Councilman Nathan Gaskin. Stay tuned for more City Week coming up in just a moment.
Law enforcement can't be everywhere, but you can help us by being our eyes and ears in your neighborhoods. Now, when you want to communicate with law enforcement, you can use TIP 411 and it's 100% anonymous. We've partnered with TIP 411 to provide a new and innovative crime-fighting tool to our community. We are committed to providing safe, effective ways for you to report crime anonymously. Now you can download our app to easily communicate with us, share information over text message, or report tips online. Our new tool gives you quicker access to provide information about criminal activity in your neighborhood. Plus, our officers will be able to ask questions and have a two-way conversation with you without ever knowing your identity. The easiest way to provide information is to download our free smartphone app, available for Android or iPhone. After downloading the app, enter your anonymous message or tip. It's that easy. You can also provide photos and videos as part of your tip. If you don't want to download the app, you can easily text your tip. In the to line of your text message, type 847411. In your message, type our unique keyword, then a space, and then your message. You may later receive a follow-up text from us to get more information. Remember, it's all anonymous. But here's an important point. Always call 911 for emergencies. Our new tool allows you to provide information to prevent an incident after a crime has occurred, or if you have concerns about suspicious activity in your neighborhood. Download our app and take an active role in keeping our community a safe place to live, work, and play.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been City Councilman Nathan Gaskin, as he talked about the city and the growth that is expected to come. Also, he talked about leaving it better than you found it. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we'll be doing our citywide cleanup on April the 18th, starting at 8:30 and going until about 1 o'clock. So if you want to get involved, come on out, grab a picker-upper, and let's clean up our city so that we leave it better than you found it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed this interview, and I want to invite you back for more of City Week.